Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation, with some news about Republic Metals Corporation. It appears that finally we can say that Swiss gold refiner Valcambi has offered to buy Republic Metals for $16 million. Now, is the purchase complete? Well, that we're not quite sure of yet. Let's take a look here at this article from Reuters. Swiss precious metals refiner Valcambi has made a $16 million offer to buy the assets of Miami-based rival Republic Metals Corporation, which filed for bankruptcy last year, a source familiar with the matter said on Wednesday. The source said that the New York bankruptcy court hearing, the case had accepted the offer as a stalking horse bid, implying that any other bids that come in must be higher than Valcambi's. A judge clerk confirmed there had been a hearing on Wednesday, but could not give any further information. RMC referred a request for comment to its lawyers, who did not immediately respond. A Valcambi spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So I guess that's why they're not saying that it actually has happened yet. Valcambi is Switzerland's biggest gold refiner. It said in October it had reached an understanding to acquire RMC, subject to the completion of due diligence. Now, it's interesting and exactly what that means. I'm not sure, because there's so many open-ended things with regardings to people who have already put in orders for precious metals, and they're left holding the bag, so to speak. But details are coming and pending, obviously. The deal from the original purchase fell through after RMC, one of the largest U.S. refineries, filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11, on November the 2nd. And so this is quite interesting indeed to see what's going on here with this. I will say that as far as where things stand, this article was dated January the 9th, and that is when the deal took place, but I've not been able to find any follow-up stories as to whether or not it actually had occurred. A member of the community had sent anonymously the documents for the asset purchase agreement, and I guess that would be, in a sense, with that stalking horse bid type of deal. And so here we can see some of this documentation here, and we'll kind of go through it and kind of pick it apart just a little bit. And it says here that the purchase and sale, upon the terms subject to the conditions of this agreement, sale order on the closing date, sellers as applicable shall sell, transfer, assign, convey, and deliver, or cause to be sold, transferred, assigned, conveyed, and delivered to buyer, and buyer shall purchase from sellers free and clear of all liabilities and encumbrances other than the assumed liabilities and permitted encumbrances, all sellers' right, title, and interest to and under the assets. And the assets shall include the right, title, and interest of sellers to and under properties of all the kind and description, whether located, real, personal, or mixed, tangible or intangible, owned, leased, or licensed, use, or held, or use in relating to the business, including but not limited to the following. And then it goes in, all this is kind of legalese, the real property, the leases, and equipment, machinery, and the like. But here's the thing, and I think this is where it gets a little sticky as far as this is concerned, and considering the business practices of Republic Metals in the past. I know of at least two, maybe more. I haven't reached out to some of those people who were literally made purchases for products from RMC and have not received them. And the latest development is that there have come to some sort of agreement with the lawyers and those involved in that they will be delivered a 50% of what is left over. So in other words, they're going to be out half of their purchases. So if they made, $1,000 purchase, let's say, for silver shot or silver bars or what have you, then they will be out $500. So, but that has not been completely confirmed or cleared up as to how what will occur there. And I'm not sure of the timeline without actually pouring through all of this documentation here to see how long this deal will go on. Although this documentation here, which is also dated on the 9th of January, it was entered on the 8th of January. As we go through here, you can kind of see what some of this language is. Feel free to pause and read for those of you who are inclined to do so, who can make sense of it. But I'm going to get down here to the purchase price. The purchase price for the purchase, sale, assignment, and conveyance of seller's right, title, and interest to under the asset shall consist of the following collectively: the purchase price, cash in the aggregate amount of equal to $16 million, including a cash deposit of $3,200,000, shall be deposited by buyer into a sub-escrow account for the DIP account not later than 3 business days following the execution of this agreement. And then we have plus the assumption of assumed liabilities, including the cure amounts. The cash components of the purchase price shall be delivered by buyer at closing as set forth in Section 4.2. And here is Section 4.2 and the closing date, subject to satisfaction or permissible waiver of the conditions set forth in Article 9 and Article 10. At the closing, buyer shall pay or cause to be paid the cash component of the purchase price less deposit or wire transfer. The closing date itself will be dependent upon the terms and subject of the conditions thereof, the closing of the sale of the assets, and the assumption of the assumed liabilities contemplated hereby. The closing shall take place at 9 a.m. local time at the offices of Aikman LLP, 3 Brickage City Center, Southwest 7th Street, Suite 11, Miami, Florida, no later than 3 business days following the date at which the conditions set forth in Article 9 and 10 have been satisfied. So I guess we're waiting on that, on Article 10, 9, and 10 to be satisfied. And then we'll find out if that is the case. And that must be with the stock horse sale, which means, will any other bidders come in higher? Valcambi is a huge Swiss company. And I think everybody probably feels that more than likely they're going to get this. And I can't think of anybody else who could possibly come in, and take this over. But you never know. You never know. I'm sure it's probably been looked at by several other out there. But I mean, Valcambi was the original company that wanted to make a bid or a purchase of this, of Republic Metals Corporation back in October, as mentioned in the article. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out for sure. I just feel bad for the people who have hired attorneys and to put forth effort to try to get what is rightfully owed to them. And my feeling is that, and again, without being fully comprehending what goes on in these types of sales, when you file for bankruptcy, my feeling is that the people you owe money to, I believe, especially private individuals or companies, that should be satisfied first, in my opinion. But sometimes that's not how it works in these types of things, depending on what is involved and to what level. But nonetheless, there it is. Interesting stuff indeed with Republic Metals. And what are your thoughts? What do you think this means if Valcambi acquires Republic Metals, and let's say they're able to bring it back and use it and make it profitable and obviously run fairly and ethically? What do you think this will mean for Valcambi? And as far as there's less competition out there, which means that possibly they could control prices, some of these things becoming monopolized, in other words. And what's going to happen with the pricing, with the stuff that we buy, what kind of products above spot price are we expected to pay for some of the things that they offer now that they're going to be acquiring their competition? Post your thoughts about this that situation, and as well as any other information you may have or know with regards to Republic Metals Corporation. Hope you enjoyed this video. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.